All right, on number 7, we're given this graph, and we're supposed to find the zeros of the function, all of the zeros of the function. It'd be helpful to know how many zeros there should be, so I know if I have to find any more at all.
4.
There should be 4 zeros. How do you know that right off the bat?
Because the degree is.
Right, the degree is 4. So that lets you know there should be 4 zeros. Now, how many can you see just by looking at the graph immediately? I see 2 as well, okay? I can see a 0 right here at 4, and I see another one over here at -3, okay? So let's get our list going. So I'm going to do the whole deal. Okay, so we have zeros at -3 and +4, which, by the way, would give me a factor of x plus 3 and a factor of x minus 4. Now, I didn't ask for that, so like Ms. Swift, you were asking me before, if they didn't ask for factors, would we have to put them? This time, it doesn't say anything about factors, so I really don't have to do the factor part.
Okay.
Okay? So on the test, you really would just give me just the zeros, and that would be it.
Okay.
All right, so we found 2 zeros, but we need to find the rest. So the way we'll do that is by using synthetic division, okay? So I'm going to use the 0 of -3, and I've got the coefficients of 1, -3, -7, 21, and -36. It doesn't matter whether you use the -3 or the 4, doesn't really matter. All right, so I bring down this 1. 1 times -3 is -3. -3 and -3 make -6. -6 times -3 is positive 18. 18 and -7 make 11. 11 times -3 is -33. Okay, so that's going to leave, what, -12? Okay, and then -12 times -3 is positive 36. Okay, and I get 0. Which we knew that we would get 0. All right, if you don't get 0, you know you're doing something wrong. Okay? I'm glancing at these 4 numbers. Could I do grouping if I wanted to?
Yeah. No.
No. -6 over 1 would just be -6. But -12 over 11 is some decimal. So if I don't get the same number both times when I divide the pairs, then grouping wouldn't work. So I'm not going to do grouping. So what can I do instead? Just synthetic again with the other 0. So I did -3, but now I'm going to go ahead and do the 4. All right? And I'll just pick up right where I left off. So I'll put a 4 right here and draw a line. And I'll put my remainder box underneath the -12. And I'll go on ahead. So I'll bring down the 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Add these up, I get -2. -2 times 4 is -8. That makes 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And I get 0 again. Okay? So now I can take these coefficients and turn this back into a trinomial. All right? X squared. Yup. Yes, sir. And then I'll...
I really hope
All right, so shh. So as we try to factor this, x squared would be x times x. 3 would be could only be 3 times 1. Inner we have 3x, outer we have 1x. We're trying to get -2, so that would mean we'd need a -3 and a positive 1. So this is looking good. So why is this not the answer? Why is this not factored correctly, Jakai? Yeah, -3 times positive 1 would give us -3. It's not giving us positive 3. So it's so close, but it is wrong. So there's no way we could factor this. So we have to do the quadratic formula. Okay, so if we go back and do our quadratic formula, which is like opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. b is negative 2, so opposite of b will be positive 2. b squared minus 4ac, yeah, no, we didn't have anything. B squared minus 4ac, so that's going to be negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3. And all over 2a, well, it's just going to be 2. What do you get from the discriminant when you do? You get negative 48? All right, from the b squared minus 4ac part, I'm hearing that doesn't sound right. What's the discriminant turn out to be? Negative 8. So we have 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 over 2. And that's going to give us 2 plus or minus, and this will turn out to be 2I radical 2 over 2. And if we divide all of these by 2, see how they're all divisible by 2? This is going to wind up giving us 1 plus or minus I radical 2. So these are the other zeros of the function. 1 plus or minus I radical 2. Okay, so not this. So as far as the factors, by the way, you would just write the trinomial down for these factors. Right? For the factors, you would just put x squared minus 2x plus 3. And then for the zeros, what did we say? 1 plus or minus I root 2.